Once there was a detective who was tasked with the investigation of a particularly vicious series of murders in the city of Isamu. Oh, how she wished for a task force of competent individuals to resolve the matter as quickly as possible. And yet, there is unfortunate credence to the saying, "Be careful what you wish for." The detective would ruin her task force. Perhaps forever. Such was the quandary of the detective named Shigure Enomoto.
Once, there was a man who was employed at a prestigious academy, where he bore the taxing responsibility of babysitting entitled students. But as students began to vanish, one by one, the academy grew uneasy. What was it that they all felt? Anxiety? Fear? Something more? Regardless, this man had to make certain that the students remained calm. Such was the role of Jiro Ryota.
Once, there was a completely, terribly ordinary girl with nothing unique to herself. Not even her name. She went through school as a normal student living a normal life. In the end, nothing more needs to be known about her. Not even her name.
Once there was a boy who was the track team captain and the president of the Honor Society, and real good in a fist fight. He put 150% of himself in anything he set his mind to. Fought tooth and nail for everything he had, this boy. But in the end, he had to learn that some battles could never be won. His name was Masato Kurogane.
Once, there was a boy who knew that he was destined to conquer the world. His minions were many, greater in number than the volume of the 7 seas. But this boy also knew that a good ruler takes care of his minions. That's why he tried his best to make their lives happy under his reign. But he failed. He failed miserably. This is the tragic mistake of Yahiko Ikari.
Once there was a girl with a voice. This girl was just another student, and yet she had no friends. So her voice faded into nothingness as she was bullied by her classmates. She was said to be a soulless doll, purpose to be the bringer of bad news, purpose to steal others away into the shadows. But those were only rumors. Rumors about a girl named Airi Hiraga.
Once, there was a lively girl who loved to make everyone's day a little more surreal. She had a totally ordinary life, a totally ordinary goal, and about as many secrets as a toddler in a support group. Then, life decided to throw a curveball. Sometimes, when there's a terrible action, there has to be an equally terrible reaction. So learned this girl named Akira Karube.
Once there was a girl who sought perfection. She was near, so near to that flawless image she craved. There were just a few little hiccups to take care of. But before she could blink, unforeseen events turned her perfect world to ashes. The perfect world of Elizabeth Oshiro.
Once there was a girl who wanted to avoid her harshest fear, worse than death itself. Restriction. So she led a life of passionate adventure to satisfy her heart. But, as the world was sure to prove, you can't always do what you want. It was a lesson the girl found hard to accept. A harsh lesson for the girl called Misaki Kazehaya.
Once there was a little girl who met a little boy who could not take care of himself. She grew up with him, and honestly, is probably the only reason why he's still alive. All this girl wanted to do was to fight for the ones who couldn't fight for themselves. Her dreams were as big as her heart, But in the end, both were shattered. Too bad, really, for this girl named Rui Hayata.
Once there was a boy. He tried to live an average life and fill his days up with average things like school, friends, and homework. Unfortunately, sometimes life has other plans. Devastating plans. Plans that bring back memories that really should have stayed buried. If only that boy had closed his eyes and kept walking. Instead, he was a fool. A fool named Yama Ishimoto.